This actually is my father's helmet from 1966.
Born and bred Toronto Fire.
Hard to believe that they would go into burning buildings, with this on.
Chief Jim Jessop is now 1 year into the top job at the biggest fire service in the country.
It's about first the public and second my staff. And, in the city this size, that is often quite daunting at night to think about.
2025 was not without its challenges for Toronto fire crews who battled some extraordinary blazes. 19 people were taken to hospital and one person died following a 3-alarm fire at a high-rise community housing building on Bleecker Street in February that involved complex exterior rescues.
That stands out a lot. Watching my firefighters carrying residents down during the snowstorm from exterior ladders and our aerial ladders and coming out just covered in black soot. That is one memory I don't forget.
Another unforgettable scene 2 months after that. A horrible single vehicle crash along Lakeshore Boulevard West in which a car hit a light post and burst into flames. Crews using every tool and technique to extricate the driver.
One of the worst crashes we have ever seen, where our firefighters arrived on scene with an individual still in the car while it was on fire and miraculously got him out alive.
The 24-year-old man later died of his injuries. Another tireless effort by Toronto Fire came at the end of November.
The most complex fire that we have had in the history of the Toronto Fire Service.
A blaze at 2 Thorncliffe Park apartment buildings that smoldered for 18 days. Crews working to extinguish flames that burned between the walls. 400 units evacuated.
It was the right thing to do, given the risk to them. But it also made me pause for a minute, knowing that we're moving out, hundreds of people in the middle of the night, not knowing what we were facing at the time. So that was not lost on me.
Jessop says he has felt well supported by City Council for the service's staffing and resources. At this point, not asking for anything net new in terms of funding next year.
There's no secret it's a tough budget year. We're certainly being as responsible as we can, but at the end of the day, living in the most vertical city, the largest city in the country, and dealing with issues, again, with our colleagues at police and paramedics. So, for example, the protests. We have been out dozens of times as part of the Toronto Police Public Order Unit. Every single weekend we have firefighters along with paramedics and police officers at these protests.
Public Order Unit planning is now focused on preparing for FIFA.
This is where everything starts.
Amid the ongoing challenge of responding to calls in Toronto traffic.
Congestion does impact, but our job is to make sure that we find a way to minimize that impact. And we do that whether it's congestion or parades or protests or any other type of, event that a large metro-sized city like Toronto, should be having. Nice to see you.
A city that the chief is charged with keeping safe from fire through his service.
Until you are the ultimate person sitting in the chair and all the decisions do rest with you, and you realize that any decision you make candidly not only impacts 3,200 of your staff, but potentially 3 million citizens. That is the thing that I was not expecting. That was the weight I was not expecting. Kind of looking back going, well, it does stop with me now. You guys are the heartbeat of this job.
Proud of his team in 2025 and promising to protect the public in the years to come.